Hey, welcome to the channel. So what we're going to be doing in today's video is we're going to go over AutoCAD 2027 quick tutorial in 15 minutes. So buckle in, it's going to be really quick, and let's get started. Let's get started. So you're going to see here when you open the program, when you open any version of AutoCAD, you're going to be met with this screen here. So what this screen is it's your main home screen. And what you can do here is you can open drawings, you can create new drawings, and there's a bunch of other stuff here. What we really need to focus on for this tutorial is just new and open. Open obviously is where you can open your old drawings. They should also appear here when you've been working on them. You'll see a line of them just show up. And then you also have new here. If you click the down arrow on this, you're going to see we can get templates, browse templates, and just create an AutoCAD ISO. But what we're going to do is we're just going to create new, and that's what you're going to do most of the time. So now we need to actually set up and get ready for drawing. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to first go to your command bar, and if you haven't already, type in DYNMODE, so DYNMODE, DYNMODE, whatever you want to say, press enter, and then you're going to see it's going to ask you to enter a new value. Mine's set to 0 right now. We want to set it to 3. So we're going to set it to 3, and that's going to allow us to just start typing commands and use them whenever we need them. And that's going to save us a lot of headaches. So now that we have that set, we can now go to our units. So we're going to go here, we're going to type in units, and we're going to press enter. Once we open this, you're going to be able to select your type of unit, the precision you want, the insertion scale, things like that. For the sake of this tutorial, we're just going to do architectural because that's kind of like the type of work that I tend to do with my students. And then we're also going to do inches. So when you're doing architectural, you do want to do inches. If you do feet, it'll ask you, well, usually you use inches, and that's what you want to do, is you want to use inches. You can change your angles as well. We're going to keep that. And then lighting doesn't really matter in this case, but if you need to change that, you can switch between American and international. Once that's done, click OK, and your units are set for the drawing. Please keep in mind, if you're not using a template, you have to set this every time you do a drawing. So please be aware of that. So now that we have our units set, the first thing we need to do before we go through and actually start drawing is we need to go to our layer properties. So just click on your layer properties, and you're going to see that there is a little button here that says new layer. It's got like a little sun thing there. Click that, and we're going to type in walls. So what we're going to do in this is we're just going to double click that. You can double click it, or you can click this check mark here, and that's going to switch the layer. So we're going to just use the new layer we just created, and you can go through and play with the layers, create your own layers. But again, for this, we're trying to get this done as quick as possible. So once you have your walls set, and let's say you have your dimensions and everything set out for your project. I don't have an actual project set out, so I'm just going to go and start drawing. You can see here we can click on the rectangle tool here. So this tool is going to allow us to just start drawing. So we can just click that. We can click anywhere we want, and we can draw a rectangle. So when you click though, when you click on the rectangle tool and you click wherever you want it, you're going to see it's going to give you two numbers, and these numbers are going to be both obvious sides. Obviously, they're sides of the rectangle, and you can actually type in the exact parameters you want. So you can see here, I can actually pull my cursor to where I want it to go, and it's just going to give me these numbers. But you can see the top number is highlighted, and that means I can type into it, and I can actually give it an actual size that I want it to be. So let's say I want it to be 50 feet. I type in 50, I put the foot symbol, and then once I'm done that, I don't press enter, I press tab, and that's going to put me to the next dimension there. Once I'm on the next dimension, I can select this dimension. Let's say in this dimension, I want it to be 70 feet. So then I type in 70, I press the foot, and then once this one's done, I'm going to press enter, and then it's going to automatically resize no matter where my cursor is. So that's how you would use the rectangle tool. But I don't know why I did this, but I didn't go through the line tool. So the line tool, obviously the most basic, you click line, or you can type in line with the command bar we used before, and you can just click and you can just start drawing. One thing to keep mention of is you're probably wondering, okay, well, why can you snap around and do all these things? Well, we have snap settings, and these snap settings are really important when you're drawing, especially when you're doing work that entails architecture or really anything, really. So take your cursor and come down here, and you're going to see this little square with like another little square in the corner. We're going to want to click that, and you're going to see we have a variety of selections we can do here, and you can see the ones that I currently have selected, and you can turn these on and off as you need throughout your drawing. So sometimes you're going to want to turn them certain ones off when you're working with certain things, just because it's going to make it a lot easier. But in other cases, you want to turn a lot more on. So you can see here, if you want to pause the video and take a look at what I've got. Right now, we're going to be using just these snaps, and this is going to make your life a lot easier when you're following along, because you're going to be able to, again, just follow along with what I've got going on here. So again, once that's done, you can click on Object Snap Settings, and we can go and we can actually make it a little more, condensed, a little better, but we're not really going to mess around with this. Everything looks okay, so we're not going to really mess with that. So we're just going to click the exit button and we're good. So you have your snap set, you have your unit set, you know how to draw. And then once your snaps and everything are set, we can start drawing. So again, we're going to take the line tool. I want you to just click, and you're going to see you should have a green dotted line appear in the direction that you are drawing in. What this green dotted line does is it tells you that the line is straight in that direction. You can see here that the highlighted section on our drawing is 39 feet, 2 and 15/16 of an inch. And that's how long our line is. So again, the same principle applies like we did with the rectangle to this. So we can type in 30 feet. And then if you need to, you can also type in -6 inches. And then it will make it 30 feet 6 inches. And then if we press tab in this case, it's going to bring us to our angle. And this is where we can actually just type in an angle. So if I want this to be 45 degrees, I type 45, and then I press enter, and it's going to do it 45 degrees to the right in this case, because that's how I have my angle set up. So once that's done, you can go and you can draw another line. And let's say we want it to be 40 feet. We have 40 feet long. And then if we want to go this way, we could do, let's say, I think, what is it, 30 and then 125. And I was a little off, but you get what I'm doing. You can go through, you can figure this out, and that's how you would kind of do basic drawing. Now we also have the polyline here, and what the difference is between a polyline and a line is, if I just get rid of this, I'm going to show you that difference here. If I take my line and I go and I draw a box, right? I draw my box, and let's say I want to move it. If I want to move it, I have to select each and every line. So another way you can select things is if you take your cursor on the bottom right of a drawing, you click it just once and then you drag it, you're going to have this selection tool. Everything that this touches is going to be selected. So it could be partially selected, fully selected, doesn't matter. As long as that box is touching it, you're going to be able to select it. Whereas if you click from the left-hand side, everything that is in the box needs to be selected. So it needs to be fully encapsulated. So that's the main difference there. You'll figure it out. But yeah, that's what you want to keep an eye out for when you're going through and you're selecting your objects. So that's what a line does. When I have a polyline, and let's say I have a polyline, I draw the exact same thing. You're going to see that there is a major difference. And that major difference is I select the entire square at the same time. So a polyline is just a line that you can select and everything's connected to each other. And that's it. So that's a polyline and that's a line. I highly recommend you use polylines because it just makes life a lot easier, especially if you're doing specific types of drawings. So if you come here, we have our circle tool. It's pretty straightforward. It asks you to specify the center of the circle. You can also have these other commands here. We're not going to worry about that. Most of the time, you're not going to need them. But you can come here and you can just select the radius. If we want a 20-foot radius, then it's going to do that. If you come here, you can also do center radius, center diameter, 2-point, 3-point, tan radius, tan. If you know your tans and your radiuses and everything, you can do that. But most of the time, you're just going to be doing a center radius. But again, it depends on what you're doing. So then if you come here, we have our arcs. They work in a similar way. So you have 3-point, you have start, center, end, you have start, center, angle, and these are just different ways you can create an arc. Again, it depends on what you're doing. So it's not really, it really depends again what you're doing. But if you come here and you click 3-point, you go, point 1, and that's going to ask you to specify the second point of the arc. And then it's going to ask you to specify the third point of the arc. And then that's how you could create your arc there. Again, we went over the rectangle and we also have ellipse. So we can click that, specify the center, and that's going to ask you for the radius. So you can just like type in a radius. So let's say 10, and then you'll be able to stretch it as you need to with this command here, and it will look really good. If you come here, we have our hatching tools. If you're using an AutoCAD version that's not 2027, 2025 and 2026 also have this, but you can actually just select a hatch and create a boundary for it. I'm not going to do that, but what you can do is you can actually go through and you can draw in a hatch instead of selecting an internal point. When you select an internal point, it's going to do what you can see on the screen. You just click it and you can go through that. You can also adjust the hatch, the angles. So if I adjust the angle here, it's going to rotate. I can also change the transparency of my hatch, and then I can also change, a few other things such as the scaling of my hatch. So if I go here and I type in 0.5, it's going to get tighter. If I type in 20, it's going to get a lot looser. So just keep that in mind when you're using your hatches. One thing I will tell you is when you're doing hatches, it can completely bog down your system if you do not have a powerful computer. So just keep in mind when you're hatching that is something that can happen. So that's how you do all of your basic drawing commands in AutoCAD. Now we have to go through how to modify them. So how do we modify them? Well, we have obviously our move tool. So if you want to move things, you can click the move tool and you can click what you want to move, press enter, and then you can select where you want to move it from. So the bottom right corner, or I could literally just select that, type in move, and then I'm going to just be able to move it. So that would be move, Rotate, similar thing, select the object, press enter, select where you want to rotate it from. So wherever you click, that's where it's going to rotate from. So if I click the top right, it's going to rotate from the top right. If I click the bottom left, it's going to rotate from the bottom left, etc. And that's how you do that. If you do the center, you rotate from the center. And then we've also got the trim tool. So I'm going to show you what the trim tool does in a second. So you can see here, let's say I have this little thing overhanging here. If I type in trim, I'm going to be able to just go through and I can just go get rid of that and it's gone. And we don't need to worry about it. We also have the copy tool. This works similar. You can also control it. So there's two ways you can copy. You can select the object, hold control, press C, and then hold control and press V, and you'll be able to, you know, well, paste it around. But the better way to do this is if you use the copy tool, you can select your object. You can press enter. It'll ask you to specify a base point instead of just doing the bottom left corner like it kind of did with the control C, control V. And you can just select a point where you want to copy it from. So instead of doing the bottom left corner, let's say you want to do the top middle, I can do that. And then I can just go and I can paste as many as I need to on my drawing as well. Once I'm done, I just press escape and that would be that. You can also scale objects. You can stretch objects. So stretching is something that, you don't really need to use the stretch tool. Like if I have a polyline here, you can see I can just automatically stretch it by grabbing this little grip here. So, I don't recommend using this unless you really have to. But yeah, you can just go through, you can stretch it out. And then for your scaling as well, you can select an object and you can scale it. So we press our object, we press enter. It's going to ask you to specify a base point for the scaling. So you can use this kind of like as a reference. So if I want to reference down here, I can just kind of scale from here. But you can see it's kind of creating a problem where it's like, it's making my circle bigger, but it's not where I want it to be. So if I want to do this, I can just type in scale. I can specify center, let's say, and then it's just going to scale from the center, and that's actually a better way to do it. So you can just scale it out, and there you go. We also have access to arrays. So what an array is it's an array. So we select our object, we type in array, or we select the array tool up top, press enter, and it's going to ask you for the array type. So there's rectangular, path, and polar. If you want more details on arrays, I actually have a video for that right here. You can go check that out. What we're going to do is we're going to just click rectangular, and you can see we have access to this array thing here. So what we can do here is if we could grab these grips, we can pull it up, we can pull this up, and we can see how it would change our array. And we can also, change how many are in the array. So one thing to keep in mind is you can see we have a square, we have two triangles and another square. So this square in the corner here just lets us pull it in either or direction, and we can just make it bigger in both sides there. If we pick the first rectangle on either side, it's just going to increase the gap, and then the last one is going to increase the amount of objects in the array. Another way you can do this is you can come up here to this bar and you can mess around with this. I'm running out of time, so I'm not going to do that, but you can go through, you can change your betweens, you can change your levels, you can even add a story in the sense that you could have 3 levels in the Z direction, and that's going to allow you to create like a more 3D object. But most of the time you're using these in a 2D sense. Once you're done, click close array, and that's how you do that. So that's how you do your basic drawing and adjustment commands in AutoCAD. And then once we're done with that, we have our annotations. Again, like what you want to do here is you can click here. You can just go create your own style, click new for your text. You can rename it to example or something that you want. Press OK, and you can enter your text height and everything. You can keep it annotative or not. Again, we have videos on that. And then if you do your text height, we can do like, let's say 6 inches, and you can just adjust it from here. Click apply, and you're good to go. Close. And then if we go to our dimension styles as well, this one's really important. I have more videos on that as well. But again, click new, create example for YouTube. Press OK. And then we're going to be able to go through and adjust our text height, everything, make sure that everything fits properly. So most of the time you go to your text, you would adjust the text height, and then you would click OK to where you want it, and then you click OK, and it should stick like that. If you set it to annotative, again, it's going to be dependent on your scale that you're drawing in and everything as well. We have our layers and other things in here as well. And then we have our layers. Again, we went over layers briefly. If you want to create a layer, click that, new layer. And then you can freeze layers. So what freezing layers does is it kind of stops you from being able to see that layer on your drawing. So if I change my layer here, and then I go and I want to freeze my walls, let's say, it's going to make them disappear. You can also turn them on and off, and then you can lock them so they can't be changed, things like that. Very useful to know. And that's just, again, really basic layers. And then again, we also have 3D tools as well in this, but I think I'm actually going to leave that for another video because I think we've run out of time. So that's how you do the base level of getting started in AutoCAD. That's how you draw, and that is how you start modifying. If you're interested in setting up your blueprints and everything as well, I do have another another tutorial for that, and I think you will find that helpful. So go check that out right here. And guys, thanks for tuning in to this video. It's exactly 15 minutes. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.